31st of May 2023. This Skidmark, it's a news flash. I'm going to talk about the British. Now, just to set the record straight. The British came to my country. They sent 400,000 soldiers to fight 20,000 Boers. And they got fucked up. But in the process, they killed thousands of women and children in the most inhumane manner that you can even try to imagine. They burned farms down and they destroyed everything. So, from me, I feel absolutely nothing for whatever disaster hits them. But it looks like karma is on the table. Let's look at this. Start with this. British Foreign Secretary calls himself James Cleverly. Look at that man. That is not a Brit. I know what an Englishman looks like. That is not the Englishman. So for a start, that's an imposter, or an invader, or whatever you want, or a plant, whatever you want to call him. That's not a Brit. That is not the Englishman. But he's from a country that claims to be a country, but they're not a country. They're a WEF colony, complete with a WEF installed governor. So, but let me get past this. I am beyond trying to be nice. You won't believe this. The Brits have stopped lying and now say in plain text that Ukraine can hit Russian territory because it's part of its self-defense. The British Foreign Secretary James Cleverly about Ukrainian UAV attacks on Moscow. First and foremost, it's important to remember that Ukraine has a legitimate right to defend itself. Of course it has a legal right to do so within its borders, but it also has the right to project force beyond its borders to undermine Russia's ability to project force on Ukraine itself. Thus, legitimate military targets outside its own borders are part of Ukraine's self-defense, and we have to recognize that. P.S. The bottom of hypocrisy has finally been reached. It's not long before they say out loud how glad they are that the Slavs are finally destroying each other en masse. Now this follows on that remarks from Lindsey Graham, in which he said, killing Russians is the best investment that America has ever made. The Brits is now here. And I just want to remind you, this is the Britain that has basically disarmed themselves with all the arms they've given to Ukraine. They are the cretins that sent depleted uranium shells to Ukraine, well knowing that they will poison the population and poison the soil, but that's not important. They have the right to do things like that, just as they had the right to kill 7 million Indians in India by stealing all their grain and letting them die of hunger. And let me show you what else they are happy with. Ukrainian attempts to hurt civilians of Donbass in every way continue. A poultry farm in the LNR Perevalsk region hit today with 5 workers there killed and 19 wounded. Poultry factory seriously damaged in a HIMARS strike with impact on food supply in the LNR. This is the most serious hit in the Perevalsky region since last September, when a Ukrainian HIMARS strike hit a college in Perevalsk, killing 1 student, wounding 6. And that is what they say is okay. Shooting civilians. And never forget, whenever you see the Donbass being hit by HIMARS, the Americans are programming the targets into those HIMARS. That useless fucking Zatzis sitting in the cockpits are only pushing the buttons. The Americans decide where those HIMARS must fly. The death toll in the overnight missile attack on a poultry farm in LPR rose to 5 people, 15 are injured. On the night of May 31, the armed forces of Ukraine fired at least 4 MLRS rockets at the construction camp of the workers restoring the road infrastructure of the Lugansk region, as well as a poultry farm. This is what they do, and they like it. And this Britain is the same Britain that, apart from disarming themselves, they are cutting their forces. As it is, their army can't even fill a fucking medium soccer stadium. But they're looking for shit with Russia. And the nightmare is, one Poseidon missile, torpedo, just one, and Britain is off the map. These people are idiots. But let's listen to what Medvedev has to say. The UK's Foreign Secretary cleverly has stated that Ukraine has the legitimate right to project force beyond its borders to undermine Russia's ability to project force into Ukraine itself. According to him, legitimate military targets beyond Ukraine borders are part of its self-defense. The goofy officials of the UK, our eternal enemy, should remember that within the framework of the universally accepted international law, which regulates modern warfare, including the Hague and Geneva Conventions, with their additional protocols, their state can also be qualified as being at war. Today, the UK acts as Ukraine's ally, providing it with military aid in the form of equipment and specialists, i.e. de facto, is leading an undeclared war against Russia. That being the case, any of its public officials, either military or civil, who facilitate the war can be considered as legitimate military targets. But will the British pay attention to that? No, they are too arrogant. But the reality is, they are not a match for Russia. They are not a match for many countries in the world. They are merely a shadow of the once powerful British military machine. They are now a few loose cocks and ball bearings lying around in a fucked up dysfunctional workshop. That is what they are. But yet, they've got big mouths. So, I am 100% happy with the shit that is heading their way. Please give me a like, and a subscribe, and share the thing. It's important that you share. Thank you for your support.